Today is Tuesday, January 10th, 2017, and I just got done watching Obama's farewell speech. Before I get into my teardown of it, before I get into the nitty gritty and my reaction, what I want to do is start off positive. How about that? I voted for Obama in 2008. Yes, I did. I voted for him in 2008, and my thought process back then at age 24 was, you know what? When I vote for this guy, hopefully he can be a beacon of hope to young black kids, especially young black boys, that me being 24 at the time, we can be anything you want to be. There's no limitation. There's no obstruction. There's nothing. We can do whatever we want. You know, I knew it would be an historic event. And I remember we had like this kind of like a viewing party. I can't remember if it was actually the inauguration or if it was when he was actually confirmed. I think it was when he was like the day of the election. We had like a little viewing party at my office. Shout out to all of y'all that were there. You know who you are. Shout out to all y'all. But it was a surreal experience, man. People were crying. It was really something serious because nobody thought that a black person could become the president. You know, my grandfather, God rest his soul, he passed away before Obama became the president, but he was alive during the point in time when he was about to, you know, go on a big run. He passed in December of 2007. And I remember my dad and him were talking, according to my dad, and dad told me that he said he probably would vote for Hillary because he didn't think that a black person could actually do it. Little did he know that that was possible. So it was an historic moment for many different reasons, most of which was because he was black, because of the history of the country. Not to be racist, of course, but you understand what I'm saying. Now, getting away from the positive, his election in 2008 was very historic, but for all the wrong reasons. I did not vote for him in 2012. At that point, that's when I kind of became conservative. Oh, well, you know what? I'll say one more positive thing about Obama. His presidency kind of made me become more conservative because at that time I was still pretty liberal, but I was still kind of in the center left, not really knowing where I wanted to go. I'm still kind of a centrist now, but his presidency assisted me, not just that, but that assisted me in going to the right. So I will give him credit for that, but everything else I cannot give him credit for. And his speech was really just underlining all of what I do not like about Mr. Barack Obama. Number one, there was all kind of lies all throughout the speech, all kind of lies. I mean, I can't even really put my finger on all of them, but I'll just give you some of the big whoppers. One of the biggest ones was when he said he said it in kind of a wormy way to where I guess what he said was true, but at the same time, if you just look at it for what it is and don't look too deep into it, you would think that it's something that it's not. He said something to the effect of, we haven't had any organized terror attacks on American soil since I've been in office. I was like, what? Really? And then he went on to talk about actual terror attacks that happened on our soil. He talked about Orlando and Fort Hood and San Bernardino. I guess those terror attacks don't count because they were not organized by a central body. Like, I guess 9/11 was this big operation. And, you know, their Orlando attack where 50 people died in a club at the hands of a Muslim terrorist. I guess it didn't really count because he wasn't really part of an organization or some kind of group thing, whatever. And then he talks about race relations. I don't know if I heard him correctly. If I'm wrong about what I'm about to say, please let me know in the comments below. But he said something about race relations being great. I was like, no, come on, man. Every single day is some kind of microaggression online. There's some kind of microaggression in the street that results in violence, somebody getting fired, somebody getting, you know, hurt, assaulted. Man, we just had 2 officers get killed like yesterday in Florida, in Orlando. And that's kind of a trend now. Officers are just pretty much, you know, it's open season on them. And a lot of that is because of the racial tension. You know, a lot of these groups, the Black Lives Matter, which ain't nothing but the KKK, the Klan with a tan, these groups have started to rise up, and you got other groups that are trying to oppose them now. There's a lot of that type of racial tension going on. And in many places, it's so thick you can cut it with a knife. So for him to say that racial relations are great under him or any kind of way good is just really false. And then he gave out these job numbers, which are false as well, talking about, oh, we've created so many jobs. Meanwhile, we have 94 million that are not in the workforce. He could point towards the unemployment rate, the number, But that's not telling you the true story. That's just telling people that are not eligible for government assistance anymore. People that are not eligible for your unemployment, right? People that are on unemployment, that is only going to be who's in that number. If you're not eligible for that anymore, you will not be in that number. So it was a false statistic that he was basing his statement on. See, 94 million Americans is like a 40 plus year high. It ain't been this high since the 1970s when we had a really, really bad recession / depression. You understand? So for him to say that is just really bogus. And he said a lot of other lies. I'll place the actual full speech in the description box below so you can check it out for yourself and you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. But a lot of lies. That's kind of what really stood out to me. And he had a couple dog whistles. Or one main big dog whistle was where he talked about our democracy. You know, he said that a few times. I'm like, wait a minute, sir. We have democratic principles in our governance, but we are not a democracy. We are a republic, a constitutional republic, sir. No, he mentioned the Constitution, but I guess he did not check the fact that we are a republic. When you recite the Pledge of Allegiance, you say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, right? To the republic, not to the democracy. So let's let that be known. And the reason why that matters is for a variety of reasons, but the main one that I can point out that everybody would kind of identify with is the Electoral College. The Electoral College is not a democratic process. It is a process based upon the republic. We have rules of our country that people must abide by. It's not all mob rule. It's not just, well, 52% of people think this way, so therefore the 48% must suffer. You understand? You got things a certain way. Is you have democratic principles, but it's not a sheer democracy. It's a republic. So that is very important. It was a lot of lies, a lot of kind of half truths. There's a lot of little things in the speech, a lot of self-congratulatory type of things in the speech, you know, and it's really a shame. And it's kind of like dividing the nation more than what it is already, which is very difficult to do because people that do not like Obama and think that he was a failed president or just are disappointed in him in general, they'll look at that speech and they'll see all the lies. They'll see all of the stuff that made them vote against him and against Hillary. All right. And people that like him, they'll like him regardless. They don't care that he's lying. They don't care about all the other stuff. They're going to like him regardless. So you pretty much just put in camps, you know, it's like divide and conquer. But I think personally that Trump will be a unifier. And I think that when Trump gets in there on the 20th, I think that'd be a great day for America. You know, Obama had his time. He had his chance. He had 2 terms. I think he was unsuccessful at what he did. I'm not going to be, you know, real ranting and raving at him, but I think that he was a failed president and he did things that I guess he thought was good or people around him thought was good, people that control him and or control the Democratic Party. I won't name them, but I digress. These people and him did things I guess they thought were good for them or for the country or for whoever, but it was not successful. You know, Obamacare, I guess you could find some good in that, but see, Obamacare is good for certain people, but only for certain people, right? It's not good for all people. It's good for individuals that are very poor, that are like, you know, indigent essentially. But a lot of Americans that kind of fit in between, they don't have a lot of money, but they are not indigent. They're not poor on the streets, you know, pretty much close to butt naked, right? They're just kind of in the center and they do not make enough money to be able to pay the exorbitant fees that they're being charged, right? They just don't make enough. You can't afford it. I think the people that enjoy it are enjoying it on the backs of those that cannot afford it, that are pretty much losing their shirt trying to pay the premiums and trying to keep up with all their health care. You got elderly people trying to decide whether they're going to eat food or whether they're going to get their medicine. So it's really a big mess. And I hope that the next administration comes in and fixes a lot of these problems. I don't think that Trump is going to be this panacea to heal all the problems of the world, but I think he'll come close to doing what he said he was going to do, at least in his campaign. I don't expect all the promises to get fulfilled because I don't expect any politician will fulfill all their promises. Obviously, Mr. Obama did not. You know, Mr. If you like your plan, keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you keep your doctor. Obviously, he did not do that. But hopefully Trump will fulfill more of his promises than he will break. So that's pretty much all I got to say about his last speech. To Mr. Obama, I say auf Wiedersehen, sayonara, peace out, so long, all that. It's time to go. I think his next stop will be somewhere in Washington, D.C. Hopefully he would not be back in politics again, but maybe he will. Only time will tell. So what do you think? Did you enjoy Mr. Obama's last speech? Do you think it was a good speech? Do you like Obama? If you like Obama, please explain to me why you like Obama. I won't be upset with you if you just give your opinion in the comments below. But do you agree with me? Do you think that Obama was pretty much a failed president? Much of what he said in the speech was lies. He's a very good orator. I will give him that. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be positive. But at the same time, I got to be real. I can't just be positive and not be real. I'm not going to be a phony person. He's a very good orator, but it's just like a huckster or a con artist. They're very good at speaking to you, but all they're selling you is just a bunch of lies. But is that your take on it, or do you have a different take? Whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. That's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.